It's July 26th, 2023. Um, Today they had on these UFO hearings on News Nation, this new channel that I just found. There's just like right now, timing of the humans. Inside New York City, they have something called Bragg, DA Bragg. Somewhere in the programming, there was something about bragging rights. I never knew what that meant, but I've heard of birthrights. I've never really heard of bragging rights, but now New York has DA Bragg, so that kind of sort of and not really makes sense. And then these UFO hearings have gates, um, and they have grave. Like if you're ever in grave danger, I'll send a message. Well, they sent a message. And in fact, it's Ryan, not Ryan Field, the sports announcer in New York. Again, this gets like really confusing how the humans have organized, or humans have organized their letter patterns into their calcaneus calculus in my section of the universe and in my market. I don't, again, I don't know. Again, at the Queen's Library, they put in this about Providence um, book. It's two books this month. I'm trying to decipher that code at the moment. So, anyhow, I'm listening on the radio, and there's someone like my Y2K clock system. I mean, again, I got Y2K clock systems. I've got Alexi, and I've got the Mayan calendar. I've got all these markers in time, and I've got the calcaneus calculus and the anonymous anatomical clock at astrology. Um, so in 2002, oh, I noticed also at the UFO, not only did they talk about the diamond pattern several times, um, but they also talked about the lexiclock, or like the lexicon. Um, in code, of course, they spoke about 11 2004. I was still in Virginia in 11 2004. I was transitioning from New York to Virginia, for whatever was going on in my world, for that time period. But then that's the Immaculate Conception for Alex. Um, Again, I just saw that they put up there, they're calling them crystalline spheres for global warming, like for trying to use human words for godly things and godly science of how does time and space work and interdimensional travel. Um, Again, I'm not going more into that, but I did hear at the UFO hearing, they did talk about the diamond formation patterns. I got that message. And they also talked about 2004 and a very clear something happened in 2004. And then they used the 11, which again, the birthing doctor for Alexander would know um, why that's so important between he and I. But so that happened. So then I found this movie, came up in the algorithm. The Sum of All Fears happened right after 9/11, which was an event that happened in New York. In that time, I was nowhere near the television. Um, I was with Benjamin, going back and forth to work. Um, Jay was in the academy at the time, but there was no talk of anything like just I guess he kept me in the dark. I don't know why. Um, and so this movie came out, which I didn't even hear of. It was called The Sum of All Fears. It says Jack Ryan and the CIA director try to stop terrorists who are planning a nuclear attack. And inside of it, It talks about the director of Clear and Present Danger and the Patriot Games. I have to be honest, my first assessment of watching the movies, that's a different series of circumstances. And then, like, this Sum of All Fear and the General's Daughter is a whole nother set of circumstances from my POV. But this is what they put up there.
Hello, Kathy. I can't make it.
Where are you going?
I can't tell you that.
Jack, tell her where you're going. In fact, tell her who you work for. She'll be impressed.
I work for the CIA, and the director asked me at the last minute to come with him to Russia to do a nuclear arms inspection.
That is so lame.
Hello?
You're about to breathe air that's way over your pay grade, so listen up. You're going to be asked for analysis and advice, so be sure you know what you're talking about. Welcome to the CIA, sport.
At a time of increasing tension,
According to this, there are 17 senior scientists on duty today. I only count 14.
deliberate deception,
3 Russian scientists are missing. I need to know where they are.
Sir, I'm going to missions. I just write reports.
So write a report about it.
I'm an analyst. I'm not trained for this.
Just be my eyes and ears.
I can't be with somebody who's going to keep their life hidden from me, Jack.
I will not let that happen.
and new enemies.
You don't fight Russia and America. You get Russia and America to fight each other and destroy each other.
Only 2 men suspect the truth.
What's a South African doing in the Ukraine with 3 Russian scientists in a crate from Israel?
Fair guess they're building a bomb.
Okay. That South Africa and Israel, Ukraine, Russia. I'm going to rewind that for 1 second.
From the electro...
I can't be with somebody who's going to keep their life hidden from me, Jack.
I will not let that happen.
and new enemies.
You don't fight Russia and America. You get Russia and America to fight each other and destroy each other.
Only 2 men suspect the truth.
What's a South African doing in the Ukraine with 3 Russian scientists in a crate from Israel?
Fair guess they're building a bomb.
From the electrifying bestseller by Tom Clancy.
The crate was put on a cargo freighter headed for the East Coast.
What? And the producer of Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games.
Ryan, the bomb is in play!
In my fair assessment, it seems like they have alternating agendas between Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games, and then the Sum of All Fears and the General's Daughter.
Ben Affleck.
Where's the president now?
They're taking him airborne. They think it might be a Russian.
It wasn't a Russian.
Morgan Freeman.
It adds up. You just don't like what it adds up to.
If you strike against the Russians, you sacrifice your moral authority. We have reason to believe the bomb was the work of terrorists, not the Russians.
Mr. President, they're scrambling their fighters.
My orders are to get the right information to the people who make the decision.
Put it in your report.
And if you shut me out, your family and 25 million other families will be dead.
The Sum of All Fears. Directed by Phil Alden Robinson.
Suggesting that Jared and Ivanka are back on the scene.
Now, I hear him state about this moral high ground. I don't know what that means at this point. I have to really think on that one. But what really frightens me from the type of science that I've studied and my observations from being in this light field in this area of New York, my time spent here, I witnessed through the holographic universe today one of the professionals in Washington, Mitch McConnell, where it looked from the chair here like he glitched. Like if he is an animatronic and if there's a glitch in the Matrix. It looked like he malfunctioned just briefly. And it's not to discredit him, it's not to make him look anything less. He's human. And he's functioning in a mortal realm that has some issues. I mean, I have issues in New York. I don't know what his POV is functioning as at this point. I don't have access to his information. However, it frightens me because I know, like when I met with Eric at the World Gym, I recovered from the glitch very quickly because it has been going on my whole life. But there was this brief glitch in the Matrix where I was like, wait, because nobody ever says that. Like, he threw me for such a loop. I don't know what I expected him to say what his profession was, but the two words that he gave me were like so far from the reality of what lived in Ronkonkoma. So I'm watching Mitch McConnell today, and it is frightening to see it caught on camera of what it looks like. That's what was happening for me the night that I went to Stony Brook University. And I called Mike Hewson first on the telephone, and then I went to the police station and I called him from there, the Suffolk County Police. Again, he grew up in Glendale. And then I went to the nearest hospital and I asked for an NSA rep, and they hospitalized me for psychiatric. And they didn't even give me a brain scan. They sent me an endocrinologist and wrapped me in blankets and then put me on a hold and then changed facilities. It's on the record, but it doesn't read correctly because it's not what it was, and the doctors were not handling it. If I knew how to use the U.S. law system, I would sue them for malpractice or for whatever, but I need to meet with a lawyer because I have no idea how that area of law works. I'm going to pause this for a minute and bring up that Mitch McConnell. And I apologize, he's a senator, I didn't realize. But it's on the ABC 7 News.
Some breaking news now. Scary, really scary moment for Senator Mitch McConnell, minority leader of the Senate, and it has many questioning his health. Again, the senator from Kentucky froze while speaking to the media at the Capitol.
Good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Wow. Mitch McConnell staring blankly for nearly 30 seconds before other members of Congress finally approached him and escorted him back to his office, at least just for a few minutes before returning to the podium. And he was asked if the episode was related to that other medical event he had earlier this year.
And now, for me, it's not age related because I've seen it happen to my son, who at the time I think was only 10. I was in a park full of people. And I mean, again, my son does not have any kind of medical, whatever. It wasn't one medical episode. And then he fully recovered from it. I've had it happen to me. But for me, it was almost like brainwave disruption. I don't know if it was some kind of vibrational frequency through sound, through some pitch. I'm not quite sure how they did it, but it was interrupted with brain connectivity and the ability to receive like brain wave function and to function like a normal human functions. Now here's this historic event that went on today.
AP's accusations of a government cover-up, calls for action, and demands for greater transparency on this issue. What are these unidentified objects? Where did they come from? And are we alone? Take a listen. Here are some of the key highlights from that hearing.
Now, I also made a note on my Facebook page. I have no idea why the man on the wall, why that is the painting that they have. Like, for me, if this is in Washington and this is this historic UFO whistleblower event, I'm going to grab the monetary system. There's real clear standards. There's real clear standards on the flag, and then on hanging paintings and portraits. I learned that. I went to the Mint once, and we learned a couple of things about etiquette. So I'm a little confused as to why this is the portrait that hung for the UFO hearing with the whistleblowers, but this was on today's.
Finally, I'd like to thank these three brave witnesses here. They took an oath. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and dadgummit, they're doing it. And we owe them a debt of gratitude.
I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight 3 critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses. It is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust. In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squad.
So I'm not going to go into that. However, and then there's a piece on Gates, but where they talk about that diamond pattern, but I'm not going to show the whole thing. And they also, again, so that's it for now. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. But where that's really important is for them coming forward is at FAA level. When they're landing, like my island has 2 airports that are commercial. It's JFK, John F. Kennedy International, and LaGuardia for domestic. And those 2 airports, with what's arriving and like at human trafficking level, concern me with some of the turnover of unexplained human populations that I've never seen before. Brand new groups of travelers. And I have no idea where their origins stories are from. I have no way of finding out. I don't know who keeps track of this. I don't know if, like, again, I talk about if we have a fish tank full of guppies and then somebody decides to throw a tiger fish in and the tiger fish wants to destroy the guppies, like, where is the protection at civilian level for that? Because that is some of the concerns I have going on in New York, and I don't know where to get answers or where to report it. So with this whistleblower and with this testimony, they also had said that they're going to start to help the public figure out places to report safely some of their, I guess, encounters. So that is good news, at least. So thank you.